Started, everyone. Sorry for the long wait. Uh, this is the Gary Sanitary District meeting. Today is Friday, April 1st, 4th. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Okay, next we'll have roll call to establish quorum.
Commissioner William Allen,
Present.
Commissioner Ola Morris, Commissioner Maurice Mabon,
Present.
Commissioner Willie Cook, Commissioner Frida Graves, Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.,
Present.
Executive Director Reagan Hatcher,
Yes, here.
Finance Manager Jerome Foster.
Present.
And that's the end of roll call.
Okay, with all those present, we do have a quorum. Next is certification pursuant to Indiana law, section 5-14-1.5-6.1. I certify that prior to the start of today's meeting, there was an executive session held, and nothing was discussed that was not indicated on the posted notice. That being in compliance with Indiana statutes, there were no final votes held during the session. Does any member dissent? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to, actually, I'm going to rearrange the order of the meeting and jump to request to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we get into the speakers, and thank you for putting them first since we're starting a little late, I just want to make a couple comments about what's happened in the last couple of weeks here at the Gary Sanitary District. What we found, I started in January, and what we found was that there were a number of outstanding accounts that have been rolling over for a long time. And as a sanitary district bill per Indiana state law, these bills run with the property. And so the liens stay on no matter who the owner is. There's a couple of ways, if you are here because you are a new owner and you did not own the property when part or all of the bill was created, then let me just say what you can do today. Per Indiana Code 36-9-2332, we would need you all to write a demand letter indicating a few things. One, it must state that the delinquent fees were not incurred by the purchaser as a user, as a rentee, as a lessee, or if it was under land contract, or you were not a previous owner and the property left your ownership and it came back to you. If you can show us proof of this, and that proof would come either through your deed from the recorder's office or some kind of indication from the auditor's office, then we can use that information to remove the previous fees before your ownership. Now, let's say you were a land contract holder, but you didn't actually own the property, but you were living in it or you were buying it on land contract. That still makes you liable for the amount owed. Finally, let's just say you're a person who has owned the property for a very long time. This debt has built up over time, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay it so your water is not cut off, because the Gary Sanitary District is directly connected to the Indiana American Water Company. Our cutoffs means that your water is also cut off. If that's the case, please talk to our customer service department. Our customer service department manager, Janelle Carter, is here today. You can talk to her today on site. If that is the case, we can work with you either for so much down and so much a month, especially if your account is still active. Those are usually for accounts that exceed $1,000 that we do that for. First, let me just ask, are there any direct questions regarding billing, not specific situations? This month, 2022, debt from 2022 is what we sent lien notices out for. If you are not that owner prior to or in 2022, you must give us verification of that before that 30 days is up and the lien is actually filed. If you do not, that lien will be filed on those properties. Next month, the debt for 2023 will be sent out in lien notices. And the month after that, the debt for 2024 will be sent out in lien notices. Almost all of these notices are based on closed accounts and not active accounts. Okay, I'm going to stay here if that's okay, and then as they come up, if we can answer their question right away, we will. I know Janelle has, oh, okay. That's a very fair question. And so I became executive director January 2nd of this year, and we are going back to remedy some things that may have not been attacked properly in the past. This is one of them. Now, the good thing about that situation is that those accounts were not shut off, meaning the water was not shut off at those locations, and those people continue to be able to get water. The bad part of it is today, now we are looking at those old accounts and we're figuring out, okay, this person, and we're only going, right now we're only dealing with closed accounts. We're not even dealing with active accounts that have large balances. The liens can only be placed on closed accounts. So now we're going back, figuring out who should have paid and who should not. If you weren't the owner in 2022, then give us proof of that within these 30 days and we can remove that debt from your account. If you were the owner in 2022, come talk to us at our customer service department and we'll figure out how to work it out with you. Okay. Oh, we're not concerned about that. If you're the owner today, we're going to work with you. If we go back and we try to bill that previous owner, then that will be on them. That will have nothing to do with you. Okay? Okay. So we have 30 days, though, from the time you received your lien letter to get this done. So please, we're glad to see, this is probably one of the larger crowds that we've had. So we're glad to see you guys. We just want to make sure we work it out with all of you while you're here. And luckily, like I said, Janelle is here to talk to you about these accounts. Okay. Yeah, that's what, she's here. Yes, absolutely. So, and I'm a rent, I rent out a property myself, and I understand that what we do with these lien letters, we send them to the home, and you must have your address on file with us as well. We'll send out letters to both locations to let you know that this is happening. Now, what I suggest, because there's a lot of landlords in the city of Gary, and this is not just a rule for the city of Gary, this is a rule for the whole state of Indiana. But what I always suggest is that you build in your sanitary district bill in your rent, because there's no guarantee that you're ever going to get that back. And it does not run, it's not like NIPSCO, where that bill is going to follow that tenant. This bill follows the property and it stays with the property. So if we had done this, let's say you were the owner and we put the lien on the property, and you quit claim it to another owner, that lien sticks with that property no matter what. This is just our first time ever putting liens on the properties. So from here going forward, it doesn't matter who the owner is. That person is going to continue to be responsible as long as that lien is outstanding. So this is really a time for landlords to kind of make some changes, maybe in their rental structure, in their lease agreements, where you include that cost of GSD in your monthly rent. GSD is $8.50 per 1,000 gallons. That's what we charge. Your trash bill is also on there, which is $25.10. So those two things come on that bill every month. If you can estimate, most people don't use more than 1,000 gallons of water every month. But if you estimate 2,000, that would be $17 a month for sanitary district, $25 a month for trash collection. I build it into mine just because I never want to, and I pay that bill every month, just because I want to make sure that I don't get stuck with it if my tenant leaves. And I just would suggest that for everybody else. So there's two things that we currently do. Number one, if I'm a tenant and I call in and I say, hey, I want to turn on GSD at this address, we ask if you are a tenant. If you are a tenant, we ask for the landlord's name and where you pay your rent, whatever that address is. Now, you as the landlord, you can always call us and say, hey, I just want to make sure that my address and name are on file for these addresses. And we can do that. When it's time for liens, we do a property check with the auditor. We always use the auditor's information. So if you're ever wondering where we pull our ownership, we always use the auditor. We use the auditor's information. We do a property check to make sure we know the owner, and then we send it to that address that's on the auditor's website, and we send it directly to the home address if it's different. So we have a couple of checks in there. But as a landlord, if you own a number of properties in the city, anytime you can call customer service and you can let us know what those addresses are and where you want those notices to be sent to. Now, we don't go that far. If we have someone call in, just like you would call in at NIPSCO or you would call in at Indiana American Water, they give their information over the phone, and that's what we do here as well. We are at those same standards. However, if we do a property check, which we normally do during turn-on, and we see that that property is in someone else's name, then we would ask, are you a tenant? Do you have a lease? Those kind of questions. But our main goal, we're not, and I hate to say it like this, we're not so worried about the tenant because we know our bill rides with the owner. And so we're more interested in making sure we have the owner information than the tenant information. However, when the tenant calls in to turn it on, that's the home, that's the address and the name that we send the bill to. So when the account is closed, we have 20 days after 60 days of closing to notice the owner of the lien amount. But because of, so the statute changed a little bit in the last 5 years. And so now we have that 2060 requirement. And so when that happened, that's when we found out that that happened, that's when we changed this process to make sure that these liens went out. We have 3 years to send liens out, to send out lien notices. That's why we could only go back to 2022. 2022 has been sent out. As I said, next month, 2023 will be sent out. The following month, 2024 will be sent out. And then we'll be up to date. And then after that, every account that closes will get notice within those 60 days of being delinquent. Yes. No, you will get a notice. You will get a green notice. Okay, so let's say you get this green notice. The Gary Sanitary District can only cut you off by cutting off your water through Indiana American Water. When we get to the point where we are ready to cut you off, we have to send a request to Indiana American Water to shut your water off. Now, sometimes Indiana American Water abides by those requests, and sometimes they do not. But we send them over to them on a regular basis to shut off. Those are our shut-off notices. If that account is closed because you've been finally shut off by Indiana American Water, then that's when your timeline starts to run. However, right now, and Janelle is outside helping other customers, but right now they are very, very far behind. So if you've gotten the green notice and your water's still on and you're still receiving sewer bills, it's because Indiana American Water has not turned your water off per our request yet. Oh, yes. I agree. Unfortunately, we're at their, we have to wait for them. Yes, yes. Well, where am I looking for here? We're at their, yeah. Oh, no, they're delinquent notices, but per Indiana law, we cannot lien accounts after 3 years. We lose our ability to do so. So, okay, well, if it's 2022, then we are leaning. If your account was closed in 2022, then we are leaning those years right now. Not for 2021, if that's what you're asking. I'm not sure what yeah, not for 2021. Okay. Yeah, well, Janelle's sitting outside, so she can help you through that if you like. Jim? 10% per state law. That is 36. And anybody who is interested, the codes that really govern this is 36-9-23-31 through 33. And that really sums up all of these things that I'm telling you today. But 10% per month. Per month. Yes, ma'am. So that is part of the new requirements, which is what jump-started us to get these out. And so that's where we're starting now. 60 days after the account is closed and 20 days after that. So if any account is closed within that time that has a prior balance, then we would have to go from directly to the lien notice. If you call in anytime prior to that, if you open another account at a different location in your name, we see you as still active. And so the amount, we're looking for closed accounts. And so we see you as still active, then we don't notice you until your accounts are closed. Okay, I'm gonna, if you just give me, are there any more general questions? Does anybody still want to come up and speak? Besides you? Okay, I'm gonna ask you two if you can come outside with me, and I'm just gonna step out. Is that okay with them? Okay, Jerome, can you handle my? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Wait a minute, go ahead with the minutes.
Yep. All right, so at this point, we will close the public speaking portion and revert back to the original order. So next on the agenda will be minutes.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the executive session and regular meeting minutes of March 21st, 2025.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, motion's been made and properly second for approval of minutes for March 21st. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, the minutes have been approved. Next brings us to new business. We have 2.1 payroll. Mr. Foster?
Thank you. I make a motion to approve GSD payroll earnings for period ending February 24th, 2025 through March 9th, 2025, in the amount of $255,665.84.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. For 2.1, what is the pleasure of the board?
So move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly second for payroll. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm out of order. Can I start again, please?
Sure.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.1 has been approved. For our next items, 2.2 through 2.8, Mr. Foster, will you please give us an overview?
Yes, GSD is transferring banks. We're going to consolidate into one bank, which is Sanitary. One of the benefits of that is better interest rates. It's also ease for bank reconciliation purposes, and it just makes it a lot easier for all parties involved, from the city, from ourselves as staff, and just making sure that we're able to get our accounting correct. And what we're going to do is move Fifth Third banks to Sanitary. We have another bank called Hoosier Fund. We're going to be moving to Sanitary. And there's only one bank that we're going to maintain, and that is Chase. We're going to move that over to Trust Indiana. It just has a better interest rate. So what I would like to do is, there are basically 3 categories here with 3 different, I'll say 2.2, 2.7. And then all those banks on this agenda here, they're going to actually be moved over into Sanitary accounts, and new accounts will be opened. Okay? I stated that the Trust Indiana from the Chase, that is 2.5. 2.5 will be moved, just a straight transfer over from Chase into Trust Indiana. All right? The remaining 4, which is 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.6, and 2.8, those are dormant funds. So we're going to close those funds, and we're going to transfer the fund balance that's in the accounts over into our operating.
Okay. So I guess at this time, after hearing your overview, we have 3 different categories. The first, I guess we'll just handle it one at a time. So we have 2.2 and 2.7, which is to close accounts and open up new ones with Sanitary Bank. 2.2 houses the fund of 674. 2.7 has fund 372. At this time, do we have a motion to accept 2.2 and 2.7?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the pending resolution, bank transfer.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please, for approval of 2.2 and 2.7.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris? Yes. Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.2 and 2.7 has been approved. Next, we have a recommendation for resolutions pertaining to closing accounts and transferring to Fund 670. At this time, is there a motion for acceptance of 2.3, 2.4, 2.6, and 2.8.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the closures of those accounts.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, those proceeds are going into general fund,
Yes.
so there wouldn't be any problem with debt service accounts. Typically, a debt service account would have to go into a debt service from one account to the other.
True. But those funds are dormant, so no longer used, so we're actually closing those accounts.
And the amount we're looking at, is that like 1.3 million, or is that more than that? Doesn't matter. It's not. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. Sure, okay.
Any other further questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris, Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.3, 2.4, 2.6, and 2.8 have all been approved. Last, we have a resolution pertaining to the transfer of funds to our Indiana trust account. This is fund pertaining to Fund 431. At this time, is there a motion for approval of 2.5?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I second it, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and seconded for approval of 2.5. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
Yes.
excuse me, Commissioner Morris, Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.5 has been approved. So that was mentioned
Yeah.
Okay,
for the record.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Next on the agenda, we have 2.9. Since our executive director is not back, this is pertaining to approval of a task order number 55 to the master service agreement for GSD and American Structure Point. This is for construction services for 27th and Chase Street Pump Station Force Main Replacement Project Phase 3. And then we have a not to exceed amount of $585,788. Maybe Mr. Anderson, if you wanted to just come up and kind of give like a brief overview.
Morning, Board.
Morning.
Well,
Or
afternoon, actually, because it's after 12. At any rate, the 27th and Chase Force Main Phase 3 project is the last leg of the Force Main expansion for the 27th and Chase project. This particular portion here is for the construction administration part of the project while construction is going on. And this was a part of all of our SRF funding that we're receiving for this project. So this has already been embedded in that.
So this is all included in our ask from the IFA.
From the IFA, correct.
Okay. So after hearing the overview and recommendation for 2.9, what is the pleasure of the board?
Move for passage, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second,
Motion's been made and properly second. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call?
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon,
yes.
Commissioner Morris, Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.9 has been approved. Next, we have 2.10. This is a recommendation or a motion to approve MOU between between Gary Sanitary District and the City of Gary, Indiana, for the sharing of equipment to support the maintenance and operations and efficiency of public services. Already, it's still out there. Yeah. Okay, so we made it to 2.10. Ms. Hatcher?
Thank you. 2.10 is a memorandum of understanding between the Gary Sanitary District and the City of Gary to use each other's equipment as needed and necessary. The person who owns the equipment will keep insurance either through self-insured or through regular commercial insurance on whatever the equipment is. And the person using it at the time, if the incident happens when the other entity is using the equipment, then they will be responsible. Were there any specific questions?
Maybe just like a comment.
Yeah, we're doing this because now that we own trash trucks and one grapple truck right now, the City of Gary is utilizing some of those trucks in their spring cleanup. And we just want to make sure that we have an agreement in place between the two of us so we know who fixes it if something goes wrong.
I would suggest just maybe like a list of the equipment pertaining to each entity just be included.
Absolutely, we can include that.
That'll be it.
Have we been doing that to any degree at all?
Using each other's equipment?
Yes.
Well, after the tornado, or before the tornado, I guess, the city came to pick up our wood chopping machine. I'm not sure what it's called, but that's what it does. It's like it's a grinder or a mulcher or something like that, where you take the tree limbs and the tree trunks, because they were going around getting rid of some of the trees that were on the property, some of the dead trees. After the tornado, they continued to use it. But after that, they're bringing it back here, and the plan is to bring the trees and the wood here to be mulched or grinded down. So that'll come back. Besides that, they've used a trash truck and the grapple truck that we've recently purchased. They're going through the alleys of the city. I don't know if any of you, some alleys have boats sitting in them, RVs sitting in them, things that just can't be picked up and moved. The grapple truck has been able to do a lot of that work for them. And the trash truck, they're using 2 of the trash trucks now to pick up recycling in the city. The trash trucks are clean because they've never picked up trash, they're brand new. And so they're using 2 of those trucks to actually still go house to house picking up recycling.
To what degree do they borrow the sweepers that we have?
They never borrow the sweepers.
Really?
Our team here, led by Lamingo Tomlin, they run the sweepers during the spring to fall. Spring to fall.
But that would be among those that would perhaps be shared?
They can be, absolutely, if the city has people to operate them. Mhm. I know their team is pretty small over there as well.
What I have in mind is the fact that sometimes some of the parks need sweeping,
Mhm.
and that would be
Mhm. And we can certainly list those. I don't think those are CDL requirements. Are they CDL? Some are, some aren't. Mhm. So also, while I have the floor, I'd just like to thank Lamingo Tomlin and his crew, and Tim Austin and his for taking care of the plant, and outside of the plant, during these large rain events that we've had. They did a great job, both of
So
them.
shall we give them
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. So we've gotten an overview and recommendation for 2.10. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I second it.
Motion's been made and properly second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Graves?
Yeah.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yeah.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.10 has been approved. Next on the agenda, we have 2.11.
Mr. President, I recommend that the board make a motion to approve and ratify the award of bid to Catalent Solutions for the purchase of sodium bisulfite in an amount not to exceed $250,800, which is $1.62 per gallon. We estimate the annual quantity of 150,000 gallons, and Plant Superintendent Tim Austin is here if you have any questions.
Okay, and this route was found to be the lowest, most responsive bidder, correct? Okay. 'Cause I know we opened up bids, I believe, at the last meeting or prior.
Yes.
Okay. What is the pleasure of the board for 2.11?
I move for passage, Mr. Chair.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Graves?
Yeah.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.11 has been approved. Next, we have 2.12.
Mr. President, I recommend the board make a motion to approve and ratify an award of a bid to Rowell Chemical for the purchase of sodium hypochlorite in the amount not to exceed $372,500, which is $1.49 per gallon. We probably need 250,000 gallons.
Thank you. Well, what is the pleasure of the board for 2.12?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Motion's been made and properly second. Any discussion?
Oh, yeah, I did have a question, and I think this is why it's so important to submit these bids on an annual basis, because the savings on these two contracts combined is like $145,000. We went from 181 to 162 per gallon, and from 188 to 149, and that's why I don't recommend extending the contracts that we always go out and bid contracts, because we don't do managed futures here, so we don't get monthly quotes. But that's a substantial savings, and, thanks a lot.
Good job. Next on the agenda, we have claims.
Claims, you got claims?
Can you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't even do roll call. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.12 has been approved. Now, we have claims. Mr. Foster.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve GSD claim numbers 729 through 825 in the amount of $755,304.26.
Okay, thank you for the overview. What is the pleasure of the board for claim?
So moved, Mr. Chair, for acceptance.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion's been made and properly second for claim approval. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, claims have been approved in the amount of $755,304.26. Next, we have information updates. We have planned activities. Mr. Austin?
All right, good afternoon. Yeah, so disinfection season started on Tuesday. We received our deliveries from Catalink in Rawell without any issues. And we had a pretty intense rain event on this past Wednesday. But, thanks to collections, operations, and maintenance, we were able to handle it and didn't incur any violations or anything like that. So, yeah, the flow got up to 130 MGD for 8 hours during the day, but we were able to hold it down. So glad that happened. That's all the activities I have for today.
Do we have any comments or questions? For Mr. Alston?
Come on, hey.
No, I was just thinking, when you mentioned rain events, and I can recall, I went to Ms. Morris back 2008 or somewhere around there when we had the same capacity, same level of rain, we had the plant flooded.
Was it 2008 or was it 2020?
Well, whenever it was, but it was
Yeah.
about the same volume, and so we were able to handle the volume.
Yeah.
So you didn't have no flooding,
No, when you keep the blankets low throughout the plant, even if you have a huge flow coming in, it won't send any extra solids to the outfall. So by keeping the blankets low in our tanks, we're able to avoid things like that happening, or having folks always check in, buildings, making sure that, all the pumps are working and we can avoid flood events. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have construction activities. Mr. Anderson?
Hey, it's me again. All right. So everything is pretty much holding steady. I have no updates for the most part. We're waiting on the plants to open and the weather to break to continue our construction on our larger projects. So that's pretty much my construction activities report for today.
No cave-ins?
One more time?
No cave-ins?
So they're out for bid now. They haven't come back yet. So yeah, we do have cave-ins, but they're currently out for bid. And then once we receive those, then those will be on the report.
Can you share with us the larger project you just mentioned?
So there's two projects that are currently still going on. It's the US 20 Complete Street project and then the Lake Street project that's wrapping up actually. And then coming up on, in the future will be the 27th and Chase Forest Main Phase 3 project. So those are the current three projects that we have going, larger scale.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Anderson? All right, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have discussion. Are there any items or topics of discussion? Okay. We've already conducted requests to speak. Have we got any new ones?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? All right, meeting is adjourned. Fourth, could we please have roll call?
Director William Allen.
Present.
Director Ola Morris. Director Maurice Mabon.
Present?
Director Willie Cook.
Yes, present.
Director Frida Graves.
Present.
Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.
Present.
Executive Director Reagan Hatcher. Finance Manager Jerome Foster.
Present.
And that's the end of roll call.
Okay, we're all in attendance. We do have a quorum. There's no certification since there were no items that were pertaining to stormwater. Next on the agenda, we have minutes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the executive session and regular minute meetings of March 21st, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chair.
Motion's been made and properly second for acceptance of minutes for March 21st. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Director Graves.
Yes.
Director Cook.
Yes.
Director Mabon.
Yes.
Director Morris.
Yes.
Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
For 5 ayes and 0 noes, the minutes have been approved. Next, we have new business, 2.1, payroll. Mr. Foster?
Thank you. Make a motion to approve Make a motion to approve GSWMD payroll earnings for period ending February 24 through February 24th, 2025 through March 9th, 2025, in the amount of $9,466.95.
Thank you for the overview. What is the pleasure of the board for 2.1?
So moved, Mr. Chair. Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly second for acceptance of payroll. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Director Graves,
Yes.
Director Cook,
Yes.
Director Maybon,
Yes.
Director Morris, Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, payroll has been approved in the amount of $9,466.95. Next, we have 2.2, Resolution SW 25-01. Mr. Foster?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the transferring of stormwater funds into a newly created Sanitary account. And again, this is for consolidating, just like in GSD's meeting, all funds into the bank, better interest bearing on the back end, and it makes it a lot easier for bank reconciliations.
Thank you for the overview and recommendation. Board, what is the pleasure of the board for 2.2?
Move for passage, Mr. Chair.
Second that.
Motion's been made and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Director Graves.
Yes.
Director Cook,
Yes.
Director Maybon,
Yes.
Director Morris, Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, 2.2 has been approved. Next, we have claims, 3.1, with Mr. Foster again.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve GSWMD claim numbers 32 through 42 in amount of $51,011.77.
What is the pleasure of the board for 3.1 claims?
So moved, Mr. Chair. Second.
Is there a second?
Yes, I second, please.
Motion's been made and properly second for acceptance of claims. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call?
Director Graves,
Yes.
Director Cook,
Yes.
Director Maybon,
Yes.
Director Morris, Director Allen.
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 noes.
With 5 ayes and 0 noes, claims have been approved. Next, we have information updates. We have MS4 activities.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Everyone. I just have a few updates. Our next MS4 meeting is in, team coordination meeting will be, I don't want to, wait, let me go back to that last. Let me start out by saying that the MS4 annual report was submitted to IDEM. We are waiting on a signature from the mayor, but it was received by the MS4, the state MS4 coordinator, and she indicated that there are no deficiencies by that submission. But we do need to make sure that we get that signature in, signed copy of the annual report in. Our annual, MS4 annual meeting, this is the state meeting that we have every year. It's a training, really, for municipalities all over the state of Indiana. IDEM is a heavy player at that event. We do have a couple of board members who also attend that event each year. This year, on the first day, which is May 12th, IDEM is offering a special training at a cost, of course, but the special training is primarily for our inspectors to have hands-on training on going on construction sites, doing these inspections, preparing the documentation, and meeting compliance and filling out compliance documents along the way. So this will be a good training for staff who does inspections, as well as those who provide the oversight. And again, that annual training is May 12th through the 13th in May. Of course, this is the month of April. We kicked it off we usually celebrate Earth Day on April 22nd, but the city celebrates Earth Month in April. We have a whole calendar of events that will be going on. So if you look on the website, the city's website, and also make sure that it's posted on the GSD website, we have something going on every week. Right now, we're up to about 15 events that are going on. And we will have weekly lunch and learns. Those will be held on Wednesdays at noon. They're virtual sessions, so you don't have to leave your desk. You can just learn something about protecting our earth or something earth-friendly. Doing that, on yesterday, we kicked off the event by having the Department of Energy was our guest here, and we had a whole day of planning around energy. So we were limited in terms of how we could invite people to the event until the very last day. We found out that we could open it up to the public, but I thank those who participated, Frida, Mrs. Morris, Jabez, who came out and got a chance to participate in some of the energy training events. We will host the second energy planning session, workshop number 2, in June. We don't have a finalized date. But what the Department of Energy is preparing us for is this plan for rolling out our Solar for All, not just Solar for All grant, but one of the primary energy sources is solar. So we know we have the funding available. They're giving us guidance in terms of rolling out an energy strategy that would align with our greenhouse gas inventory so we can track the successes that we have. So it's exciting. Secondly, they are going to do really a deep dive for us to establish a plan that will live with the city for the next however long we've established our carbon emission reduction strategy for the city. So you know that we've completed our greenhouse gas inventory, the greenhouse gas inventory. We do have a climate action plan on how we will do things better to protect the earth and reduce pollution in the air. Now we're moving toward actually implementation. And William, I'm really trying to figure out how we can capitalize on the Project Relight program, project that you have going on here. If there's any way the Department of Energy can help us to get dollars back from that program so that we can invest in other things that are going on in the city. And then, of course, our Household Hazardous Waste Day is coming up fast upon us. There's a lot of planning that's going on between the sanitary district, stormwater management district, as well as the City of Gary Public Works Department and Recycling Department. We have a list of activities that we have going on now. All we have to do is just kind of fill in and get ready to host that day. We are looking for volunteers from the community. We do have community ambassadors who usually come out that day and help us with facilitating the traffic flow, because primarily it's like a drive-through. And people are bringing their things and they need to go either to participate in some of the activities on in the parking lot, and then there are some activities that are happening with Lake County Solid Waste Management District where they are collecting the hazardous materials. So there's a lot of traffic flow. We do need volunteers, and you can just contact our office. The number is 882-3000. There are flyers been distributed in places. We're using social media to get the word out. So please, and if you would like to have a booth, environmentally friendly booth during that day, please reach out to staff, Dolores Brown or Rainier Bradley, and they will help you help with that. That's all I have. We do have a meeting, a coordination meeting coming up in what is this, April? Actually, it's next Monday? Okay, this month, no. It's got to be the 14th. It's got to be the 14th, I think. But our MS4 coordination meeting is coming up, and I'll make sure that I get that information to Mr. Cook and Mrs. Morris. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to respond.
Do you have any comments or questions?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next on the agenda, we have discussion. Are there any items or topics that need to be discussed at this time? Okay, hearing none.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
I just wanted to announce that, just because I don't know when our next meeting will be because of Good Friday on the 18th, I just wanted to announce that the State of the City address from the mayor is going to be Tuesday, April 29th at 2 o'clock at Embassies of Christ. So and it's open to the public, tickets are free. We do ask people that people go on Eventbrite and just reserve a seat. We think we're probably might overflow a bit. So if anybody would like to attend, present or in the public, Tuesday, April 29th, 2 to 4, Embassies of Christ.
Any other items? Are there any requests to speak? All right, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second?
All right, thank you, everyone. Meeting has been adjourned.